pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 16. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me is the Icy Blues of the Desert, the former devil himself, Mr. Daniel Singleton. What's up, Dan?
Hey, that's me.
If you're joining in for the very first time, then you should know that this is a show about the two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and whatever else we want to jabber about. You can get the show over on youtube.com/dandydigital or over on Spotify and iTunes by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital. Now let's get on to the show. Dan.
Yes, sir.
What a fucking week.
It's been something.
Yeah.
It's been something.
What have you been up to?
Not much. I have started a fasting schedule.
Ooh.
I have started doing that. It's at the behest of one of our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to
one
Adam.
Of our listeners, one of our buddies.
Shout out to Adam on this. So my first day was Monday, I think.
Okay.
So I think I'm pretty sure it was Monday. May have been Tuesday. I don't remember for sure. My first run was 20 hours, which ended up being 21. I scheduled 20. My next one was scheduled to be another 20, and then I ended up making it to 23, I believe. And the past 2 or 3 days has been 24-hour fasts. I eat, and then I start fasting again.
Okay.
So it's kind of a mix between fasting and OMAD, 1 meal a day.
How's that going?
It's going well so far. I've dropped somewhere in the ballpark of 5 pounds since I started. And actually this evening, after we finish recording, I'll be wrapping up my 24-hour period where haven't been eating. And then I'm going to be starting an extended fast with Adam, actually. He started his this morning. He's on a slightly different schedule. So he eats in the mornings. I eat in the evenings. But he started his 48-hour fast this morning, and I'll be starting mine probably in the next sometime in the next couple hours. First day was rough. First day I was pretty hungry, and ever since then, though, I don't even really feel hungry anymore. Not that I can't eat. Like, It's me, and people that know me know that I can put away some motherfucking food, right?
Right.
Like, I will sit down at Denny's and put away 2 dozen eggs. Like, that's just how it goes. But I started it because a little over a year ago, I was at 250 pounds, and I got sick of it. So I started just counting my caloric intake. That's all I did. And by the time Thanksgiving rolled around last year, I had gone from September 1st was the day I started, and I dropped 48 pounds. So I got to 202. It's the lowest I got. Then the holidays rolled around, everything went to shit, and I've been slowly creeping back up and I hit 220. So now I started doing the calorie counting thing again, probably about a month and a half ago. And results just weren't happening like they were a year ago. I don't know why. It was all pretty much the same stuff, but it just wasn't working. So Adam talked to me about this thing he was doing and how he was having pretty good results. I was like, fuck it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Like, I don't like it after a few weeks, and then I just go back to trying to do what I know worked a year ago. But this seems like it has pretty good results so far. So I'm gonna stick with it for a bit.
So I got a question for that then. So, because he talked to me about that as well, and I don't know if I want to do that for a couple reasons. I don't know, one, what the effects are of, what the negative effects of that is. I haven't actually had a chance to sit down and look too much into it, because yes, while you're losing weight for not eating, when you actually start eating or try to eat, like, your body's going to not know where the next meal is going to come, right? And then it's just going to store that. So it kind of puts you in harm's way in a sense. Is that right? Or
Well, I will say it's super important to take a multivitamin. Drink tons of water, that should be just the standard anyway, no matter what your diet schedule is.
right.
And by no means am I an expert in this. This is all just, my opinion and stuff. This is just like my opinion, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, regardless of how much you eat or when you eat, your body is still averaging out how much energy it uses in a day. Unless you're like sick and you're just laying in bed all day, you're going to use less. Or if you're out running marathons, you're obviously going to be using more. And there might be certain exceptions, but your average day, you're still going to spend an average amount of energy. So your body's going to have to pull it from somewhere.
Right.
So the 1 meal a day thing when you're fasting isn't, okay, cram 2,500 calories into this meal. It's eat a meal. Don't just eat like a pound of butter.
Don't be a glutton about it.
Yeah, don't be a glutton. Don't look for like pure calories. Eat something balanced. Your leafy greens, maybe a piece of fruit for a little bit of the vitamins in there. Like last night I had a banana because I've had some muscle cramping in my legs past few days. So I was like, okay, let's get some potassium in here. So if you just eat a reasonable meal, then it should be okay. That's what I've been doing anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking, okay, because I haven't done my research too far into it, because I'm terrible at that. I've seen a lot of people do this fasting thing. I work with a bunch of people that did these fastings, or they did like the keto, and I even had, my family did it, but then like it just turned around, and when they stopped doing it, they all essentially ballooned back up to where they were, if not just over that. So that's why I wasn't sure if that actually worked. If it does work, I wasn't sure if I was going to have the discipline for that. So
sure.
Like, I mean, honestly, what was working for me was when Mary and I would make dinners, we would split whatever our plate was going to be. We split that, and that was our plate. So, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, we'd have salads. We'd have a bowl of salad. We'd use some like vinegar, balsamic vinaigrette, dressing. We'd do some chicken in there for the meat. And then we do like romaine lettuce or spinach as the leaves, and a couple different vegetables. So we would do that for dinners periodically. Whenever we went out for a meal, we would essentially just split the meal. We would share that. So that actually worked out a lot for me. We were also hitting the gym. I just have no drive to go to the gym. And I think that's because I enjoy not going out of my house and being around people. So I am going to start getting back into doing the Ring Fit on the Switch. I want, try to get back into walking, my daily walks, especially with it being starting to cool down. Yeah. So I would actually go out 1 to 2 times a day, and I'd walk. So I'd do like a 15-minute on my break around the neighborhood. And I know where, to go to make it 15 minutes before I come back. And then in the evenings, when I got off work, while everybody was still in school, or, Mary was working, I'd head on out and I'd walk the neighborhood for a half hour. So I'd do about, a half hour to 45 minutes walking every day. And then I could do the Switch. So I think my problem is that I need to be more active, because when I work in retail, I'm fine. When I sit at a desk, I'm not fine.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that, and I noticed that always, from working at GameStop to going to the bank and then doing, work. Like when I worked at this grocery store Reset, they have you on your feet all the time, and you're lifting those, shelves and the product, I looked fucking good, so I need to get back into being active. And I think I have a better chance at being more healthy doing that than the fasting. Because if I sit here and I do my work at my desk, I get bored, because that's my job, and I'm going to want to eat. So sometimes I'll eat out of boredom. So if I stay active, I know I can stay ahead of it a little bit better. I think that's the path I think I'm going to take. I'll start doing that Monday.
You got to do whatever you think is going to work for you. You.
Yeah.
If fasting is just not a thing, I do know the end goal of fasting is you hit a goal weight, and then you go into maintenance mode. And I don't know exactly. I'm not anywhere near my goal weight. Right. So I'm not looking at fasting maintenance at this point. Like I'll worry about that when I get a little closer. My ultimate goal is 180. So okay. I got 35 pounds to go. So we'll see if I get there. I hope I do.
Yeah.
But I think that's the end goal is you go into it's not as strict. Like if you want, if you're having a rougher day than normal, okay, go have a, 200 calorie snack. Not a big deal.
Right.
Little things. It's not quite as strict. And if things start to get out of control again, then you just start, you do a week or two of strict fasting. Like I have not been technically ultra strict with my fast because I have coffee in the morning and I put a measure. It's not just dumping in creamer. It's measured and it's a small amount, but technically the creamer breaks your fast, but I don't give a shit. Like I'm just not going to give it up. It helps with
you want to be healthy, not miserable.
Right. It helps with my headaches. It helps wake me up and give me a little bit of pep. I only drink 1 cup now. I used to drink like 3 a day. Now I cut back to 1. It's a very small, very measured amount of creamer. And I'm still getting pretty good results. Like 5 pounds in 6 days ish.
Right.
And I'm still drinking coffee. So like as long as I'm getting results, I'm happy.
Right.
So I'm not going to completely just make myself miserable and tired doing it. And
you're keeping it within control.
Yeah. If I drink 1 cup of coffee, then so be it. I'll technically break my fast for it. Doesn't bother me.
Right. Okay. Neat.
And especially since it's, they say that if you drink or if you consume 50 calories or fewer, it's not breaking your fast. Because there are some like supplements out there that have calories, like fish oil. A fish oil pill has like 10 calories in it.
Right.
So there's stuff out there like that. My creamer is 70 calories.
Okay.
It's pretty minimal, and I'm not going to worry too much about, I didn't lose a pound today. I only lost 0.7. Like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep my coffee.
Nice.
So there's some flexibility in there depending on how strict you want to be. Could I go without coffee? Yeah, I probably could pull it off, but I'm not going to be as enjoyable to be around.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing too. You're trying to keep yourself sane and you're trying to keep everybody safe from your hangry rage.
Yep. And actually now I know for sure that I started on Monday because Monday is my Crumble cookie day. And that is the evening where I crammed all of my cookies into one meal. So there, like I said, there is a little bit of flexibility. Like I don't just eat them as soon as I get them. I wait until my next window meal.
Yeah.
Or meal window. That's what it should have been. And I just, eat the cookies, eat my portion of the cookies. I don't even eat the whole cookie because I share with Jessica. But I eat my portion of the cookie during my meal. So it just all gets lumped in anyway. So It's not, it's very doable.
All right, cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Good luck to you. Good luck to Adam for doing what you're going to do. For sure.
And I got to say, with it cooling off, there's a really cool place out near my house to go hiking.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to do that, let me know because
I will take you up on that. Okay. That's one of the things we enjoyed doing was hiking. Like we got the camel packs and everything so we could take that. And
yeah, when I do go out there, I usually go out there on a Saturday morning and I usually go out there pretty early. Like I'm usually out there at like 5 a.m. starting because I don't come home until like noon, 1 o'clock.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm out there for a while. When I go, I go out there for quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's awesome views, lots of steps, fresh air. It's nice.
Nice. One of the, I think I'll take you up on that one. I'll find a weekend where we're not doing something crazy and I'll slip away.
That sounds good.
We'll do that.
All right.
I'll keep you posted on that one. But moving on, while we're talking about calories and such,
Yes.
we have our Crumble ratings for the week. So this week, I will say not their best week, but I was pleasantly surprised. So
that makes one of us.
Yeah, I figured. We have Pink Velvet, Ruby Chocolate Chip, Pink Donut, and Chocolate Strawberry Cheesecake. Those were the 4 cookies that they did this week that we ranked. So you weren't excited. Let
me put it this way. 3 of my bottom 5 all time were this week.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I mean, they're mid-tier for me. But they weren't bottom. Why? What made it so weak?
Well, did I send you the picture of the pink donut one, the pink donut cookie I got?
Yeah.
It was the most pathetic fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. There was hardly any frosting on it. There was hardly any sprinkles on it. Do I need those calories? No. But if you're going to give me a fucking pink donut cookie, make it look like a fucking pink donut, please.
It might have been how they made it, because when we got ours, it looked like the website. The picture that they have on their front page. That's what it looked like for mine.
So something that could have played into this week's poor rankings for me, I went to a different Crumble cookie than my normal one.
So it could have just been the baker's.
It could have been the location and not the cookie, but I can't judge the location. I have to judge the cookie.
You could go get the cookie tomorrow. And
no. I'm doing an extended fast. I can't have it anyway.
It'll be here Monday. So
yeah, pink donut. It was underwhelming, sad. The Ruby chocolate chip was my highest of the week, but it was still just a chocolate chip cookie with some red food coloring on the chocolate chips.
All right. Okay.
Or pink food coloring, whatever. The pink velvet was very dry and pretty flavorless. And the chocolate strawberry cheesecake had a really weird aftertaste for me. The flavors did not really blend well in my mouth, and it was ultra dense. Like, it was difficult to bite through.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to that location.
I'm not going back to that location again, but I can't, I can only judge the cookies that are placed in front of me. Right.
So that's what sucks. I would recommend that when these pop up randomly, hopefully not all at once, but if you see the pink donut or the chocolate strawberry cheesecake, as they rotate it,
sure,
pick it up, because I didn't have those experiences with the ones that I picked up.
It was a shame, because the new location I went to had way better service, and they were much nicer and way friendlier, and it was way less busy than the one I usually go to.
Yeah.
But
so
that's the trade-off.
Yeah. So I will say that the chocolate strawberry cheesecake was my favorite one. It was moist. I liked the cheesecake frosting that they put on it. It wasn't like the thick cheesecake frosting that they put on other cookies. Right. So that's how I like my cookie. Whereas a thin layer of the strawberry on top of the chocolate chip chocolate cookie. So that was my favorite one. Followed by the pink donut. Again, it looked just like it on the website. It was soft, but still had that crunchy, like the hardened bottom a little bit, like a baked, sugar cookie that you would get anywhere. So that was pretty solid. And then Ruby chocolate chip, I think it tastes better than the regular chocolate chip for sure. That was pretty solid. And then pink velvet came up on the bottom, but I still really liked it. It just, compared to the other 3, like we always say, it's not the worst cookie if you're in last. It's just the other ones hit those, specific notes. So with that said, mine happened to land in the middle. They sprinkle the middle everywhere. They're pretty solid. I think that the chocolate strawberry cheesecake, ranked a little bit higher. While it didn't reach the top 5, I would say it was within the top 10.
Wow.
So that's why that sucks to hear that, you had such a poor experience with your cookies on that one, because they were surprising. Like when I tried them, I was like, okay, we got to get this done. This is what we do, where we try our cookies. And I do like them. I like going, and it's, the whole experience. And then I had the, chocolate strawberry cheesecake first day, had my little portion. And I was like, okay, wow. I was surprised, still cautiously optimistic for the rest of them, but this one surprised me. And then the pink donut got it. And then, they were hitting it. So
maybe because we're going out running some errands tomorrow. So maybe we'll pick up
at least one of them
at the other location.
Yeah, try maybe do the chocolate strawberry cheesecake and try that. I won't
be able to try it till Sunday, but whatever. Like, it's not gonna.
Right, it's a day.
Not a big deal. Yeah, it's not.
So that's a shame, though. It's a shame that
ultra disappointing.
Yeah,
like it was really bad.
Well, shit, man. Well, let me know, or I guess let us know what you think. If you decide to pick up a cookie and see if at least one of them can redeem itself.
I so very much wanted to like the pink donut, but it just didn't do it.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see what you have to say.
The ruby chocolate chip was actually, like I said, it was my favorite. Yeah. But it was still, to me, it was just a different colored chocolate chip cookie. Right. It wasn't anything special. And I assume everything was pink this week because it's October. I assume that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I would think so. At least to start off with, breast cancer awareness. So
are there people out there that aren't aware now? Like, everyone's aware, right? At this point,
that it's a thing. I think so.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Now, I don't know if they're donating anything to the cause, but yeah, we'll see. That's a different story for sure.
Yeah, because everything I've heard is like Susan G. Komen is a total fraud, and the foundation, not the person. The foundation is like super sketch from what I've heard. Like, I don't know. I'm not involved with them, but that's a different conversation for another time.
For sure, man. So, for sure.
What else has been going on with you?
Nothing. I've just been video games, is what I've been doing, and that's what we'll get into in here in just a little bit. But because it's October, as you stated, last week we talked about our favorite candies, or trick-or-treating candies.
Sure.
Right? This week I want to talk about what would be our top 5 Halloween movie. And not Halloween like the series. Doesn't have to be horror. It's, it's Halloween themed, or suspense, or something you like to watch in October. If it's on, you'll watch it. Anything like that. Is it Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin, which I think it might be. No, it's Halloween. The Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, The Great Pumpkin.
Yeah. So is it that? Is it Candyman? Is it Ernest Scared Stupid? You know what I mean? Like, but I think it's cool to be able to talk about what some of our favorites are. I enjoy talking about the candy. I wanted to continue on with the Halloween theme a little bit and see what our top 5, movies would be for the Halloween spirit. So, to give you, because I didn't give you a heads up on what we were doing for that, other than just Halloween movies. So I'll go first. One of my favorite ones that I like to watch every year, and even as a kid, I was kind of terrified for the movie, and now because I've watched it so much, I know what to expect, and it doesn't scare me. I guess that's how it works. But The Shining.
Ooh,
that's one of my favorite Halloween time movies, where I have
Jack
to watch
Nicholson,
that
right?
movie.
That one.
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't watched Dr. Sleep, but that's on my list. So this month I'll be watching that. So the first one for my top 5 would be The Shining.
Let's see. I don't generally watch horror movies or suspense movies. They're just not really my thing typically. But I
Right.
will say that I will not pass up Ghostbusters if I see it on TV. I just can't. I
Ooh,
can't do it.
yeah, yeah,
I can't
that's
do it.
actually on my list as well. That's one.
Okay.
That's going to be one of them. I love Ghostbusters. I've always really
One or
fucking
two,
enjoyed that movie.
really. Doesn't bother me. Either one.
I like both for sure. The first one is what I'm more partial to, although I do like a lot of like the music and their darker suits in the second one. The villain, I mean, strongly. I mean, I would say the villains for both movies weren't like super strong, and that's not why I watch it. Is their interaction with those villains, but more of what happens in between those plot points, you know. So with Ghostbusters, I like the subtle, dark, dry humor that they do. You know,
Yeah, the
Bill
cast
Murray
definitely worked well together.
Yeah, Bill Murray's such an asshole, but it's so funny to see it. You know, where he's like, "Ugh," and he's knocking on, and then he slams the book down on the desk. Yeah, like that shit. Or when they got fired and they're talking about just, you know, they're drinking on campus and they're talking about what they can do and, you know, spitballing, like that kind of shit. It's very enjoyable for sure. So that's on my list as well. So that'd be a number 2 for me on my top 5.
I beat you to it.
Oh, you did.
Ooh, okay, so that's your number 2. What would be my number 2? I don't go. I haven't seen it in years, but I do have a soft spot for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
I do. 2 reasons. One, my mother grew up on Elm Street, last house on the right. No joke. That is true. Nearby a cemetery too, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah. And 2, when I was young, my dad and I would sit around and watch action movies and horror movies and things like that. And he would point out to me like, oh, look, that's like, look how they did this. Look at this special effect. Or what do you think of that? Like, what do you think of the makeup in this scene? And like trying to, because I was like 4, 5.
Okay.
So he was trying to like, hey, realize this isn't real.
Yeah.
It's not something you need to worry about. So, yeah, one of my fond childhood memories is watching Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 5, and going through and talking about like how they did the special effect in one scene, or how, you know, how do we think that they did the makeup here, and you know, what do you think they used for the blood? Was it just red dye and corn syrup, or what do you, like, it was that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I've got a little bit of a soft spot there.
Completely opposite of the shit that I did for that movie. I sat there with my dad. We played a card game, Kings Around the Cup, or Kings Around the Corner.
Okay.
That's what we played. And it was on, and it was a marathon. It was on one of those like free HBO weekends or whatever. So it was unedited, no commercials, and they just played. And I think I watched 2.5 of them, you know, because we stayed up late. You know, everybody was asleep. He and I were just playing on the ottoman. We were just playing card games, and I was watching it. And then I went to bed, and then I had the worst fucking nightmare I have ever had in my goddamn life. And I think that at that moment, that's where it turned me off on those movies. Because he wasn't like, hey, how it see those special effects? We were just watching it, and I was you're at the same age, and it terrified the shit out of me, man. Like, I remember just laying in bed, and my eyes were just wide fucking open, and tears were running down, and I was almost paralyzed, you know, in fear, to the point. And I guess I was making noises because eventually my mom, it woke her up, and she came and looked, and man, he got his ass chewed out for that. So that's that's why I stay away from horror movies most of the time.
Your experience may differ.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, but that's cool though. You know, Mary and her family are big horror buffs. So when it comes to, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I'm gonna go upstairs. So rounding number 3 for my Halloween top 5 movie would be Amityville Horror, the remake with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, have not seen it.
Don't know why. I just thought it was really well done. I enjoy watching it every year. I think that they just brought a nice cast to the remake, and it was a solid choice. I think I like to hang on to that one.
Okay. So I guess my number 3 will have to be the experience you had with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
This was my experience with this movie because my dad was not around when I watched it. Not that he wasn't like around. It's just that he wasn't there. He wasn't there for those couple of hours when I watched this movie, and it traumatized me seriously, like for a decade at least. It was Fire in the Sky.
I've not heard of that or watched it anyway.
So it's based on a book by Travis Walton, where he describes what he calls the Walton experience, which was an extraterrestrial abduction in Arizona. He was working as a logger up north, somewhere near Flagstaff, I think. And so he disappeared, and I don't remember the details of everything. But yeah, he like disappeared, and then he was found several days later, disoriented and like nude or partially nude. And like, this is the story he told of like, I was abducted. This is the crazy shit that happened to me. They were testing on me. There's some pretty clear shots in the movie of Fire in the Sky, like what they envisioned aliens to be based on his descriptions. So all of that combined with it being in Arizona, which is where we were as kids and still are today. And then the bedroom that I had in my house, it was a 1-story house. I was in the back corner of the house by myself with a window that went out into our large backyard. And then on the other side of our backyard was this huge open lot. And so in my mind, I was like, if I'm going to get abducted, or if anyone's going to get abducted, it's going to be me, because I'm by myself in the back of the house next to the field they're going to fucking land in.
Yeah.
And so it just traumatized the shit out of me.
Yeah, you mentioned that when we were talking about paranormal.
Yep.
You did talk about, or at least you mentioned that. That's funny. That's the movie.
That was the movie that did it. I was never scared of like Freddy or Jason or anything like that. Was not my thing, or like Texas Chainsaw, not really my thing, because again, I sat around and watched those movies. But then this, it came out in 93, so I'm willing to bet I watched it in 93 or 94. So I was 7-ish at the time, maybe 8. And so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, shit, this guy is saying this is a true story. It was not far from where I currently live. And I'm in a vulnerable position when I'm asleep. So it fucked with me. I'm not going to lie.
That's awesome. That's a good one, though. Yeah. My next one, so number 4, is Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a good one. Very entertaining.
I haven't read the book. It was one of those movies that popped up, and I watched it on TNT. So I got all the sweet commercials. They just brought it on, and I was like, well, it's trucks. I mean, I'm not a big vehicle person, but, I enjoy the occasional Hot Wheel. I enjoy, that. So seeing these trucks, take out people, and that still messes with me a little bit, where I'm like, man, like every time I have to try to fish my hand out of the garbage disposal, to try to grab whatever like that's in there, I'm afraid it's going to turn on its own and rip up my hand. So Maximum Overdrive is for sure one of my top 5 Halloween movies.
So that was your number 3 or number 4?
Number 4.
That was number 4. Okay. Yeah. So for my number 4, I'm going to have to go with Silence of the Lambs.
I've never seen that.
It is good.
I was just talking about that.
It's good.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, it's one of those
It's
pop culture.
It's legit classic.
Yeah.
It's a legit classic.
Never seen it. I know Hannibal Lecter. I know Clarice or whatever. I know like what you see in every other fucking movie and the references I know what I get it, but I've never seen it. I've never sat down and watched it start to finish.
Yeah. It's not strictly a horror.
No, I mean, neither is Ghostbusters.
Yeah, no, Ghostbusters definitely isn't, but it definitely hits that vein of like, this could be real. This could actually maybe happen in the world. And so it's that creepy factor. It's not the scare factor. It's just the shiver up your spine kind of thing.
One of our movies that we enjoy watching like is Hocus Pocus. That's not a scary movie at all, but it's a Halloween movie.
That's true.
This isn't a horror, top 5. It's just a Halloween top 5. So, so while I do enjoy my honorable mentions such as Hocus Pocus and Beetlejuice and even It, I enjoy. And to clarify, It 2017, which a lot of people had an issue with, I really enjoyed, and I hated the original It.
Oh, Tim Curry.
Yeah, like he wasn't. I don't know. He looked super silly to me. So it didn't click the way I think everybody else really liked it. So my 5th movie of my top 5 for Halloween that I enjoy watching is Aliens. With Sigourney Weaver. So
the second one.
Yes. The second one is my favorite one. So the first one comes close, but I feel like Aliens is a series where the sequel outdoes the original. So I don't want to overhype it. I don't want to do anything like that because I know we're going to be doing our Alien watch through in January in a couple months.
Next year,
yeah. So I don't want to get too much into it, but Aliens is my 5th movie. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love watching that. I'll watch it any fucking time it's on and any time of the year, but I like to watch it in October for sure.
Okay. So I will give a couple of honorable mentions here. One, I'm going to give one to 7.
Oh, yes. That's a great fucking movie.
I'm going to give one to 7. And I'm going to give one to Misery.
I've not seen that one.
It's a thing. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The premise is an author gets in a car wreck and somebody helps him out. I haven't seen it in a long time. So this is Kathy Bates. And she's like one of his biggest fans. And so he has this manuscript with him of the final book, and she reads it while he's unconscious, and it pisses her off. Yeah. And so she basically tortures him until he starts to agree to change things. And honorable mention for sure.
I know about that movie because of Family Guy.
Yep.
That's how I know that movie. Same thing with Stand By Me. Never saw that movie. Family Guy filled me in. And what's funny is I actually, for that same episode, I remember doing the Shawshank Redemption. And I had never seen that movie either. I have since seen that movie, and it's a great movie. But a lot of those I got from there. I was like, oh, okay. I don't have to watch it now.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So those are my honorable mentions. For number 5, though, I am going to have to give it to the original Saw.
Damn.
Not any of the follow-ups. They've all been straight trash. Right. Fuck those things. But the first Saw, I went into that movie thinking, okay, this is just going to be another slasher. Like, who gives a shit? It's just run-of-the-mill. Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
It was fresh and interesting and unique at the time. Unique. And, reasonably good. It had a good story, good characters, good acting, the whole 9.
I did enjoy it.
It was good. It's hard to rewatch because, if you watch it the one time, the twist.
Right.
It's kind of like The Departed. You can only really watch that once to get the full enjoyment.
You're only going to get that reaction the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have to give that movie credit. It was really good, really well done, and unique at the time.
Yeah. I actually like part where I think it was, I don't know if it was the second one, where they're going through the house, and when they open up one of the doors, you see the area from the first one, the staging, area from the first movie. So it was like a nice little callback. I can't remember if that was like, the I think it was the second one. I don't think I saw anything past the third.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave Saw at number 5, but I have to do one more honorable mention, and it was a Ryan Reynolds movie called Buried.
I never saw it.
He is the only person on the screen for the entire movie.
Okay.
The premise is that he's a contractor in Iraq, and he's kidnapped and buried alive with a cell phone. And so he's making calls to try to save him, like to get somebody to come save him, try to save himself, that whole thing. And he, like I said, there's other people on the phone that you hear the conversations he has.
Right.
But he's the only person on the screen for the entire movie. And it's just him in a coffin the whole movie.
Crazy.
It was suspenseful, like edge of your seat, like, oh shit, I should probably inhale here. Like suspenseful. Okay. And it was well done. I thought it was an independent movie, so not a lot of people saw it or probably even heard about it.
I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks stupid.
No,
so,
it was
but
it was
at
pretty
the
good.
Same time, I watched Phone Booth, and I think those were all coming out at the same time. Where I was like, okay, great, Buried, Phone Booth, Airplane. Yeah. I mean, it's like it reminded me of those terrible sci-fi movies I would watch. Like the actual channel sci-fi, where their animals were, it was like shark, anaconda.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, and that's all the title was, so you could tell it was really fucking lame. But we would watch it anyway. But that's cool.
No.
That might be something I check out.
Yeah,
I like some of his stuff.
Yeah. Again, though, it's not a movie that you can rewatch easily.
Right. You watch it once, one and done.
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, the twists that come along throughout the movie and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend it. It's definitely an honorable mention.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
One more honorable mention. Mr. Brooks. Have you seen that?
I don't believe I have, no.
With Kevin Costner. He's a serial killer. I
can picture the cover art on the sleeve for it, because it was out when I worked at Hollywood Video, 20 years ago. So I can picture it.
He's a serial killer. Dane Cook is in it as some guy who finds out he's a serial killer, and so he wants to learn to be a killer himself. So he's trying to do that whole team up thing. Very suspenseful. Let me see. Not Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks. It also has William Hurt in it.
Okay.
William Hurt plays Kevin Costner's conscience. He's the driving force between, for his killing that he does. Right? It's that dark. Yeah, you've seen Dexter, right?
Yes. So
how Dexter talks about that urge as his dark passenger?
Right.
That is William Hurt to Mr. Brooks, to Kevin Costner's character.
Okay.
Really fucking good movie. I think, and Mary hadn't seen it, and I think that's going to be one of the movies I toss on the list this year because I really enjoy it. It's not a slasher. It's nothing, it's a very thriller, suspense, darker movie. It's like a 7. You know what I mean? So
okay.
Put it in like that. Really good. I do recommend that one. So,
well then,
that's that, man. That's our Halloween top 5 Halloween and honorable mentions. So, if you've not seen any of those movies, hopefully you watch them. If you do, hopefully they're on your list as well. So, moving on to that now, Dan,
what's up?
What have you been playing?
Nothing unique, man. It's all the same stuff I've been playing. I have not tried anything new. I've not gone out of my comfort zone, so to speak.
Yeah, not yet. Waiting on that Xbox, huh?
Yeah, really, that is what I'm waiting for. Like, honest to God, my Xbox can barely handle the games I play, so I'm not trying to
add new ones.
Yeah, so it's just been more PUBG, more Minecraft, more. If I see a particular friend of mine, I'll go play Fortnite with them. Just the usual stuff, man. Like nothing special.
So because you're sticking to your phone for the most part until your Xbox Series X arrives, you should try out. And I don't know if it's still free because it's part of Apple Arcade, or if you have to have the subscription service. But look into it. Zookeeper World.
What? Zookeeper World.
Yeah. Zookeeper World is essentially like a zoo builder tycoon type game, but it's less that and more of like the, think of like Bejeweled. You know what I mean? You have the Connect 3, Match 3. Yes. Yep.
That's the one?
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, it's addictive, man.
It's a matching puzzle game.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones where you jump in, do a couple puzzles, you're like, okay, you get like little quests. These people that show up, they're like, hey, you don't have any animals in your zoo, and you're like, great. Well, how do I get an animal? You go into the shop. You have, you can buy, the habitats and the animals for X amount of gold. You get that gold by doing the puzzles.
Yeah, so, it's only available with Apple Arcade.
Yeah, okay.
I can get 1 month free, but then it's $5 a month after that.
Gotcha. It's a lot of fun. I don't know how I signed up for it. I think I have like 6 months free or 3 months free or something like that. So I've been trying out a bunch of games. I think I came across a promotion a couple months back because I really wanted to play Oregon Trail, and that's how I found it. But I've been playing that a lot. So I check it out if you like those puzzle games, especially if you're finding yourself sitting around a lot and you don't have an Xbox to play the new games yet.
Yeah, soon. Less than a month. It just sucks because once the fucking Xbox gets here, Halo, but then I'm out of town like every weekend in November.
Yeah.
For weddings and funerals.
Aren't they the same thing? Okay, I'm kidding. I
might actually enjoy one of the funerals I'm going to more than one of the weddings I'm going to.
So other than Zookeeper World, I've been playing a shitload of Hot Wheels Unleashed. I know I talked about that last week where I just got it and I hadn't had a chance to play it yet. But this game is really fucking awesome, man. There's a couple tracks that are a pain in my ass, but playing online with people to do certain races, because there's 3 trophies or 3 achievements, whatever console you're playing on, to play online. And it's nothing crazy. It's not like race 100 hours. One of them's like reach the podium 3 times. So you just have to at least get into 3rd place 3 times. There's one that says, bad. Then there's one's reach the podium 10 times or 5 times, I think it is. Or no, I think it's 10 times. So I did that. Okay, great. And then there's one that's like win 5 races. And I'm telling you, some of these were actually really fun. There was a couple short tracks, right? And they were based off of Fast and Furious, because quarter mile at a time, that's what it was called. So you start and you, like, just like any other racing game, when it hits 2, you hit your gas button, and it fills up your boost right away. So as soon as you can go, you just fucking boost. And everybody's like racing, on top of each other, trying to hit each other into the walls and shit like that.
Are you playing against other people or the computer?
It's against other people.
Okay.
For these particular ones. These are the online trophies that I was getting. So I did a couple of those. Then there was one race, because it's a voting system. You get 5 tracks, you get to look at them, and then you vote for it. And apparently everybody voted for one of these tracks. And this track was fucking trash. Like, it looked awesome. You could tell this person put a lot of work into it, but he didn't QA his own track. So you're going up a magnet ramp, right? So it's holding your car to it, but it does like these weird twists and turns that your car frequently bumps off it. So then you fall. So you just
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you can't boost. So I'm like tapping the trigger, so I'm just pushing up a little bit and just slow and steady. That's how I was doing it. I would launch myself. I was actually gonna quit, and you can see people were quitting. Like people were not liking this track. I went over. I accidentally launched myself over with a boost, and it threw me off the track. But it didn't ever reset me. It took me from 12th place to 1st place. And I was like, okay. So I just kept racing, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this to see, where all we go. And nobody ever caught up to me like after that.
Nice.
Point. I got all the way around. I got all the way back up to that same thing. The track was long, and you have to do it 3 laps. I got over, and I ramped it over again. So then I skipped half the track again, and I landed, and I just kept going. Did it for a 3rd time. So then I won, and that was my trophy for winning 5 times, 5 times online. I was like, well,
nice.
Fuck yeah. I was like, garbage track, but it got me my trophy. So then I just jumped back in, and I'm doing like the story mode, where you play different things, and it's a lot of fun. So when you get your Xbox, definitely pick that up, or at least see if there's a demo or something. It's really, if they put it on Game Pass, fucking A, man. It's a lot of fun, and I think they did a really good job with the Hot Wheels game. What's up?
Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have been playing a new game, but it's not really a game per se. It is a game, but it's not a video game. I've been doing sports betting because it's now legal in Arizona, and I finally
is that what it fucking is?
Yep, that's why they're advertising the shit out of it.
That's why they're advertising it. Sick of this shit. It's all over everything that I fucking do or look at. I don't care. I get it.
I caved and I started doing it. I won $1,250 last week.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm ahead, but I'm done now. Like I put in my initial investment to get the bonuses, and I was like, let's see what happens. I'll fuck around for a little bit. And overall, I put in like 100 or maybe $120.
Yeah.
And I've cashed out at this point with my like $1,250 ish. So pretty happy with that.
Good for you, man. That's awesome. So I put it as I see it too much. I mark all the ads that way. I'm like, I see it. I don't fucking care, man. Like, holy shit. I get you guys are trying to make your money, and I bet you have, but like you guys are doing it for everybody because there's nothing in my demographic online or anything like that where I talk about it. I don't give a shit.
The reason they're flooding it so hard here is because Arizona was one of the last states to not have it be legal. Gotcha. So as soon as it went good, they were cramming it down everyone's throats right before football season started.
Yeah. Yeah, they really did cram it down throats.
Yeah.
So the next game I've been playing, I just started it today, which is Metroid Dread on the Switch. So it's essentially Metroid 5. It goes Metroid, Return of Samus for Metroid 2, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, and now Metroid Dread. So I just started it today. I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than it's kind of difficult because they have these weird ass robots that are on this planet and they hunt you down and they are fucking me up. I'm only 15 minutes in it and I think I've died 12 times, man. Like I'll go into an area, they sense me in there and then they start chasing me, and so I'll try to run out of the room. They have killed me, and then I'll go back into the room, and they do not reset. They're still pacing around. And sometimes when I run into that room, they're standing right where I just fucking walked out, so they get me every time. So it's kind of frustrating, but I'm going to stick with it. I'll let you know more about it next week when I have more time on there. The other game I'm playing that is going to be taking up a lot of my time is Far Cry 6. So I picked that up. I got that yesterday. So I put in about an hour and a half already into it, and it's Far Cry. So if you've played any of the Far Cries and you enjoy Far Cry games,
you just started.
Yeah. So which is fine. It's not saying it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's okay. You get your story beat. it gets me. I'm apparently my character is ex-military. I had left the military, and now we went into a weird ass lockdown. Like all the power went out, and then these troops started rolling in, and they're killing people, and some of them are looking for me, so I have to escape. I get to a boat. I find out that the El Presidente's son is on the boat, and then it's like that scene you see in one of the trailers where his son was like, "Let these people live." Right. His response was, "If you wanted them to live, you would have stayed off this fucking boat." And then when they left, they just started open fire on the ship, or like a little fishing vessel. And then you wake up on the beach, and then you find out that you're part of the guerrilla warfare, and then now you're doing these missions. So that's where I'm at. So it's very Far Cry if you've played any of them.
Oh yeah.
But the voice acting's done really well. I'm playing as the female character because that's what is supposed to be canon from what I can see. She's a great, I like the character design. I like the voice acting. I like some of the secondary characters that I've teamed up with in a couple of missions. They feel very fleshed out and very real. You know what I mean? In that world, you got your silly points where it's like I have Guapo. He's an alligator partner that I can send in when I'm doing like a base or like a checkpoint. I can send him in there and he starts attacking them. So that's kind of cool. I like doing that. I like that in Far Cry 5. That's where that really took off. So I plan on playing more tonight for that for sure.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It's a couple of islands. I think it's done really well so far from what I can tell. And as what I've learned from Far Cry games is the more you play it, the more invested you get, because you get those cutscenes, you get more interactions with the main villain. You get to see why they're doing what they're doing. And, sometimes they're not just villains to be villains. You know what I mean? Like you can see that it's a very gray area in their world. So pretty
interesting.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to getting my Xbox so I can play.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be neat. So aside from that, that's what we've been playing. I did pre-order that new Xbox 20th anniversary controller. So I sent that to you, if you recall.
Oh yeah, they're sold out already.
Yeah, so they were sold out when I was looking for them. I was going to give up, and then I saw on the IGN article that Target still had it, or that Target had it, so I checked it. They still had it in stock, so I was able to pre-order it through Target. So it looks fucking neat, man. Like, so those pictures, it's a gray controller as opposed to the black because it's see-through. They have green accents. They have the green X on the Xbox home button, the dashboard button. If my terminology is off for Xbox, you're going to have to chime in on that one. But the D-pad has like a little green accent around it. It's got the 20, for the 20th anniversary logo on the front. It looks really fucking sleek. On the back, you have like the green and the solid black backing. It just
it does look nice.
It's a very pretty controller. I'm excited about it, which is funny because it's an Xbox, and I'm not normally that type of person, but I have an Xbox. I might as well get some nice things for it. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So the only thing I wasn't a fan of was the see-through 20th anniversary like headset. I think the green microphone could have just stayed black like the one I have. And then I think it's just a wired mic as opposed to a wireless. They're not doing like two different versions, which I find is weird. And much like what you said, it's weird that they're not doing an elite version of it either.
Yeah, because like once I get my Series X, I'm probably going to get an elite controller. Yeah, because the controller I have now for my current Xbox, it about a week ago it started doing the drift with the joysticks, where I can just be standing still and then my character will just start moving forward for no reason. So it's super annoying when you're playing games like shooters, and you're trying to aim, and then all of a sudden it's just like, nope, we're going to start aiming high. Oh, you wanted to shoot that cloud, right? Like that's what you were going for. Like, oh, God damn it, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it is a neat controller. I do like that it comes with a charging dock.
Yeah, that's a nice little bonus.
So, which is nice because I hate all the charging docks that Xbox has for their controllers. and I think it's because it's the third party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they look cheap, or they are cheap, or they only fit one. Like in the terms of like the Xbox One, it only sits one controller. I have two controllers. You know what I mean? Like, give me like a little boat that makes them stand up, kind of like my PlayStation 5 ones. Where it's sleek and it charges and it looks nice on my shelf. But I like the charging station that comes with, the black one with the green 20 on it. So that was pretty neat. I just closed my document. Just give me a second.
Well, I know it's not a game that I play, but I know it was big news in the gaming world is that the final character for Super Smash Brothers was revealed this week.
Yes.
Yep.
So Sora from the Kingdom Hearts franchise, which is actually pretty awesome. I didn't get a chance to save it. I wanted to send it to you, but they did at the end of the announcement for that character, they showed off how many kills that people have done, yada yada, but there's 89 characters for this game.
Shit.
that you can play as. So when they call it Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, they're not fucking kidding. There's 89 characters. There's 136 stages.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup.
That's awesome. And
they didn't don't half-ass two things, whole ass one thing.
Right. And they're going to be doing a bunch of amiibo coming out for these characters. I need to get the Sephiroth one for sure because Sephiroth. But it was it's a pretty big deal. On Twitter, a lot of people it started trending where they did hashtag thank you Sakurai, because that's the guy that was doing it. And for the last 3 years, he's been working so hard that he's gone to the hospital, I think twice, for exhaustion.
Jesus.
Because he works weekends, he works nights. So there was times where he was sleeping in the office. It's, I hope that, much like what everybody else is saying in the world, I hope that guy takes a vacation, enjoys his vacation, because he deserves it. I know a lot of these game developers work very fucking hard on their games, but when you're creating these character rosters and tweaking them to make sure the characters all fit, and doing it in a competitive type game, that's a lot of fucking work. And he's done every single one that they've come out with. So he's much like Daniel Craig and James Bond. He keeps saying he's done, but then they keep bringing him back. So, we'll see where they go. When you call something Ultimate and you do that much content in it, I don't know what you would do for the next one. I would like for them to do like Mario Kart Ultimate, give me all the characters, all the carts, all the tracks from all the other Mario Karts plus new ones. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. How do you top that though later on? That's the concern.
Right. Reboot it.
You would have to, because eventually they'll come out with a new console or system, and then they got to do something.
Yeah. I mean, but in that same respect, everybody wants that from every one of those games. Like Pokemon, everybody's still fucking waiting for you to start in Kanto, which is the first land that you start off with in the entire series, back in Red and Blue on the Game Boy, right? And then move on to the next land and move on to the next land. So like every game that comes out, every 2 games, they have a new land, a new country essentially that they're going through. Let us start in the first one. Let us go to all of them. That's usually what people are doing, or that they're talking about. And they did that in the second generation, where you started off somewhere else. You did that whole thing. Once you beat their Elite Four, you could jump on a boat and go across the waters, and hey, you're in the first game again. And then you could do it all again. You can go after all 8 gym people, the gym leaders, and then you can go after the Elite Four in that one. So it was like 2 games in one, and everybody's been wanting more since then. They just haven't given it to us. So
perhaps one day.
Hopefully
one of these years.
See, this is why I want to live forever, man. You never know. Not because of any other reason. It's like, what kind of fucking games and what kind of crazy shit you guys are gonna do?
In 100 years from now, it's going to be unrecognizable to what we know now. I can't wait.
I know. So crazy. So another thing in the news which I think you saw, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition was announced. It's been rumored. There was, I think, a leak, and then they actually came out and did it. So it's Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, all remastered and everything like that. So I know how much you're excited about it because you just, you can't get enough of those older games. Can't get enough of 5.
I do appreciate nostalgia, and 3 and Vice City in particular would give me some pretty good nostalgia.
That's the only reason I'm getting that. I don't give a shit about San Andreas.
I want GTA fucking 6. I don't want you to keep rehashing your old shit to keep making money. Give me new fucking content, Rockstar. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not giving you any more fucking money until the next game. I'm not like I'm sick of them fucking drawing this shit out for no goddamn reason. GTA 5 is a decade fucking old. Let's move on.
But it's still printing money.
I understand, but they're not going to get any of my printer money. Not any. No, I'm fucking done. Fucking done. Not another Rockstar product until GTA 6.
What if they come out with Red Dead 3?
I didn't like Red Dead 2.
What if they say it's more like Red Dead 1?
Probably not.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it for those. I am going to jump on the nostalgia train. I am going to play GTA 3 and GTA Vice City. I think I might jump into Vice City first because that was my favorite one. So yeah, I'll go for my favorite one, and then I'll just move on to 3, which is good. I liked it a lot, and then but it's lesser than Vice City, and then I'll skip San Andreas because fuck that game. I hated it. So, moving on then, Dan.
Yes.
Holy shit! What have you been watching, man?
Well, I finally finished the shit show that is The Runaways. And
Hulu is done, right?
Hulu is done. That's right. So technically it was out of perfect chronological order, but not by much. And again, it was kind of a weird exception because we canceled our Hulu subscription, so I had to get it done. And MODOK is on Hulu, but that's not part of the MCU, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Right.
But The Runaways is done finally. Holy shit! Finally, that show was just atrocious. It was bad. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it was just a poorly acted and written, and there was a lot of abrupt things that just, okay, we're gonna go do this now. It's like, what? Like season 3, they built up pretty much all of season 2 to be one villain. So season 3 starts, and they're still dealing with the same villain, same story arc. It's episode 2 or maybe 3. They beat him, and literally the next villain just like walks in on the scene, and it's like, oh no, now we have to deal with. They went from dealing with an intergalactic like alien that inhabits people's bodies, and it was like a small royal family that was trying to get back home. So they defeat them, and then, all of a sudden, now we have to deal with this evil witch that's trying to merge our world with a dark world. What? Like, where the fuck did that come from? They literally just walked her onto the screen and was just like, I'm here now. Okay, let's fight. And, I mean, it was Elizabeth Hurley, so there were some upsides, right? Like, there was some upsides because it was Elizabeth Hurley dressed as basically a scantily clad witch. So there was that. But the story and the acting was just not good. I did get some laughs out of it because there was a few scenes where they were using magic and things like that. And I can only imagine what that raw footage would have looked like before they put the CGI in, and how fucking cringy it must be. But overall, I'm just happy I'm done with it. I can say that I did it. And now I'm moving on to finish Punisher Season 2, which I enjoy so far quite a bit.
Well, fucking A. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
What about you? What do you got going on in the viewing
So I
world?
finished What If.
Okay. I'll get there eventually. It's on the
Yeah.
list, just
So
farther down.
I don't want to jump into that because I know that.
Oh yeah, ruin it.
Yeah, I don't want to
I appreciate
spoil
that.
anything
Thank
or
you so
whatever.
much.
So I'll keep that to myself. We'll review it once you start watching it. So
Okay,
I did
that sounds
finish
good.
that. It was spoiled for me from people that I know sending me pictures of pop figures and random shit. I'm like, so I wasn't as excited going into the episode because I knew already what was going, what to expect a little bit, which sucks because the entire fucking season hadn't been spoiled for me at all
Until
the last fucking episode came out. That day I hadn't had a chance to watch it, and it was spoiled. So that was a little frustrating. Aside from that, I didn't get a chance to watch Ted Lasso's finale, but that's tonight. As soon as we're finished recording, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to watch it. I'm so fucking excited. Dude, there's one character that they've really built up to be a piece of shit. Now I can't wait to see how they react to that. I really enjoy seeing Ted Lasso, the character, but I can't wait to see like more Roy Kent. He is my favorite character. I chant his chant here and there, and I hope to get his soccer jersey, his football jersey, because that's how much I like that character. So that's tonight. But that's pretty much it. I haven't had a chance. I mean, it's just kind of been with work and everything like that, and all this other crap that I'm just having to trudge through, here and there. I just been watching comfort food, which is Parks and Rec. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I did see that it's New York Comic Con this week or this weekend. They did show off the Dragon Ball superhero trailer, and all I can say is and which is a shame because I love it, right? I just talked about it last week where I'm doing like a whole watch of Dragon Ball Z. The new one, first of all, the title's stupid. I don't like it. Right? It's because it's called Dragon Ball Super. That's the next series. And then you're calling it superhero. I thought it was kind of weak as far as titles go. Then I started thinking of one of the characters who actually dresses up as a superhero in the later part of the series. I was like, okay, so it's going to focus on him and what he does or whatever. They dropped the trailer. This trailer looks like a video game. And like that's why it's right. Give me the traditional fucking animation. Why does it like I hate that they keep trying to change the animation for different movies because you're making it very inconsistent. But while it looks good as far as like the video game aspect of it,
it's not the same.
It's not the same when you're seeing it. You know what I mean? It looks like a video game cutscene from like their fighter game. And I'll send you the trailer, right? And then I'll send you like a little clip of the fighting, like a Mortal Kombat. It's Dragon Ball Fighters, right? So
Sure.
It's the Street Fighter style fighting, which looks phenomenal, but not for a movie. You shouldn't be using that for the movie. So I was very disappointed in that. I watched the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City trailer. That's very lackluster. I understand and I respect what you were doing for the reboot. The Capcom worked with the movie company where they provided them the walls, the paintings, like everything that you saw in like the first two games.
Yeah.
As far as like being in the mansion and being in the city, they recreated that pretty faithfully, which is neat. Watching the trailer, however, the special effects look fucking trash.
Of course.
In the trailer, you see a semi-truck flip. You can tell that semi-truck's not really there when it's doing its flip and then explosion. The zombie dog, I think, looks the best. And maybe the liquor looks the best, but you can still tell that it's not a good CG,
it's
whatever.
Really not going to help.
Yeah, it's not. Unless they change that, like a Sonic, it's not going to do well. It looks like a B movie horror.
I feel like with The Walking Dead winding down at this point, that everybody's kind of over the zombie thing right now. So that bad CGI is not going to help that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It looks like it's a sci-fi movie. You know what I mean?
On the Sci-Fi Channel at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So I was kind of just I just had to laugh. I was like, one of my favorite, IPs, Dragon Ball, disappointed me. One of Mary's favorite IPs, Resident Evil, disappointed her, and I was just like, this sucks.
Man, what a down week between the cookies and that stuff. Everybody's just disappointed.
Right. So that's pretty much that's it for me, man. That's all the news I have for that.
Yeah, I got some Star Wars stuff I want to talk about, but we'll do that next week.
Are you sure? We can talk about it.
No, we'll do it next week. Because I think some of it's developing.
Okay.
Like they were talking about Mandalorian and how it's just going to be starting production like in the next couple days, apparently. So
yeah, we're getting the Book of Boba Fett in December.
Book of Boba's coming out in December.
Yeah. So I'm okay with Mandalorian just now starting. You're already going to give us a Mandalorian show.
They've already finished Book of Boba filming, obviously, if it's going to come out soon. They're just about to start Mandalorian season 3. I think Ahsoka, did they film that already or is it planned?
I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
And then Obi-Wan, I'm pretty sure has been filmed already.
Yeah, it's already wrapped up, man. And Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor stated that he's very excited. He enjoyed the cast and the crew, and he thinks that this is the best version or the best storytelling that they've done for Obi-Wan to date. So he's very excited about it, but he can't tell anything else, which I understand. I'm very excited about that.
Wow, you're excited about Star Wars again.
I'm excited. Yeah, Ewan McGregor, right? Man crush. You got that. And he's a badass for Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I'm excited to see him. I want to support that. I mean, I watched Mandalorian. I was excited for season 2. So it depends on how you do it, but already the pedigree for for Obi-Wan has be very excited. So hopefully
I'm kind of disappointed. I guess okay, fuck it. I guess we're just going to talk about it. So apparently Obi-Wan's only going to be 6 episodes, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping for more,
all right, though.
But if it's good, it's good.
Yeah,
so it is what it is. But that's it. It's limited production. The 6 episodes, and that's it. It's not season.
So is Loki. Loki was 6 episodes.
Okay.
And then, or the 8 or something like that. But then it was so popular, people loved it so much that they did greenlight a season 2. So they could do that for, Obi-Wan.
Maybe different people running MCU versus Star Wars. True.
And at this point, if you have something that's good for Star Wars compared to the bullshit you guys have been pumping out, you'll capitalize on that.
That's true. And Jon Favreau is involved on both sides of that house. He's involved in Star Wars and MCU.
Yep.
So I'm sure he'll have some say if things are going well with something. I don't know how involved he is with every one of these projects, but
yeah, he's no Kevin Feige.
I know he's not like the secretary that gets people coffee, right? He's not entry level.
Yeah.
And he is involved on both sides of the house. So we'll see how it goes. I saw another stat too. Grogu, Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
The puppet that they use costs $5 million.
Of course it does.
It cost them $5 million to make that. That's more money than I will make in my life. Short of winning the lottery.
Not at the rate that you're going with your sports betting.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm done with that too because I don't want to give that money back. Ironically, those winnings are going to pay for my Vegas trip next month.
And then
they're going to get it back.
Right. You're gonna win it big up there.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Stranger things have happened, man.
That's true.
So what else for the Star Wars that you were thinking about, or is that it?
That was the gist of it. We just started going into it, so I was like, fuck it, let's just finish it up.
Yeah, man. Let's have the conversation.
I am excited for Book of Boba though.
I'm looking forward to it. I think based on how they handled Boba Fett, in the last 2 episodes of Mandalorian, I think it shows strong promise for his show.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess we'll have to see what they do with his ship, right?
Yeah, the Spitfire, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I don't even know what they call it now. I will forever call it Slave One. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Because that's what its
fire
fucking
breather.
name is.
I don't know what the fuck it's called. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. It's Slave One.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. End of story.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll definitely be doing a watch through for Boba Fett when it comes out in December. So,
Yes, sir.
But now it is time for Q&A with DNA.
That's us. All right, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, let's see what we got here today. Which is more important, intelligence or common sense?
Oh my God. They're equally important.
Which one's more important?
At this point, I would say common sense. Because a lot of people are lacking that shit in recent years. So, common sense. Because
I would agree.
You can be smart, sure, but there's a lot more dumb people out there, and common sense hits everybody. That's the blanket one as opposed to just intelligence.
Yep. No, I agree. I think common sense is more important because if you know that, like gaining knowledge isn't that difficult if you know your basics, like common sense stuff. And if you have common sense, you can work through the higher level, more difficult, more complex things using it.
Yeah.
And you can gain that intelligence and that wisdom and that knowledge.
Yep.
If you have the common sense to start with. So yes, I concur. I concur.
Do you concur?
Good sir. I do concur.
I should have concurred. All right, ready?
All right, what do you got for me?
What is your favorite song to play in the car?
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. You can sing along to it. Even if you are horrendous at singing, such as myself, doesn't matter. It's a good time. It's enjoyable. If you have your windows down and somebody looks over and hears what you're singing to, they'll just join in. Like, it's a universal fucking song.
Right. It's a great song. Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. I think that's
awesome.
that's my instant answer. Bohemian
Holy
Rhapsody.
Shit. That's awesome. Fucking A, man. That is a good song.
That is an excellent song.
I was actually just talking about that the other day, so Mary and I were having a conversation on our way back from Crumble cookies, right? And we were talking about growing up and what we did, right, in high school. And one of the things that I talked about, she used to say, or she would tell me, like, she used to just stay in her room all the time. That was her favorite place to be. She didn't like to go out with friends. She didn't like to do what everyone else in high school was doing, right? Until she joined drama club, and then she was hanging out with the kids. So, but she was saying that a lot of people that she knew that were her friends didn't really like the things that she liked to listen to or do. And I told her, she would name it off. I like to play games. I like to listen to this music and this music. And so I laughed. I was like, we would have actually gotten along really well in high school because you could have just came out and hang out with us because we were playing these games. We were listening to these songs, and while you're in your room doing whatever, I was like, I was with Dan. And I was like, I don't know what other people were in the car, but we were driving around. We were blaring Metallica, their covers. We were listening to Bohemian Rhapsody we did that Wayne's World scene. We were all just rocking out and we're singing Bohemian Rhapsody. We did that. So I was like, so you would have fit right in because you would have just, I was like, we're going to the gas station and it came on the radio. So we just cranked it up and, going down like Union Hills. And just blaring that fucking song. I was like, that was awesome. One of the songs I like to listen to which is kind of the same way. It's kind of like a singer's song in the same way, is Dream On from Aerosmith.
Ah, good choice.
Right?
Not a bad option.
Right. So it's one of those things. I like to listen to that one. I mean, Aerosmith has some pretty fucking solid songs. Like, well, now that it's skipping my head, you know what I mean? Because we're actually just listening to a couple of them, like The Edge.
Love in an Elevator.
Yep. Pink. I actually like singing Pink in the car. It makes people feel uncomfortable because of the lyrics, but I really enjoy it. But Dream On and Bohemian Rhapsody, I was like, we fucking drove around. We did that shit.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest stories from that era of my life, actually,
I talked about that,
is because of music in my car. I was by myself, but I was at a stoplight, and to put this into perspective, my first vehicle was in 1991. And hey, by the way, none of my passwords are based off the first car I drove, so fuck you, hackers. My first car was a 1991 Buick Regal. It was a boat. It was 2 doors. The thing was a monster, but it was awesome. And I was at a stoplight. I want to say it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night, by myself at the stoplight. Car pulls up next to me. My windows are down. His windows are down. He's blaring. I don't even know what it was. It was, hip hop of some sort. And he's just blaring it out, right? And he looks over at me and he turns his radio down. I look over at him and I'm like, fuck. I don't have a sound system. It's just factory, right? So I just crank it as high as I can and I hit random on my CD. I had a 6 CD stack and I hit random, right? I was like, fuck it. Let's just see what comes up. So blaring out of my windows is the intro to the Beatles' All You Need Is Love, which starts out with a snippet of the British national anthem. So this just comes blaring out of this 1991 Buick Regal at a stoplight in Phoenix at like 11 o'clock at night. And this dude is challenging me to like play the best music I can on this shitty sound system that came with the car. And he just gave me the strangest fucking look, like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And I just started laughing hysterically that of all the songs to come up, it was that fucking one when I had Metallica and Slayer and, oh, here's the Beatles. That's the random one you get. Just fucking hilarious to me. I really wish somebody had been there with me, but
what sucks is I thought Adam was with you. So when I tell the story, because I guess he was there when he was telling the story, right? I just assumed that you and he were running around together and doing that. So when I tell the story, I was like, it's one of my favorite stories that I'm not a part of. And it was that I just told that story. It was fucking hilarious, man.
I'm pretty sure I was by myself. I mean, it's not impossible. Adam was with me. It's been a while, but I will never forget the look on that guy's face. Like, what the fuck is he like? I'm sure he had no idea what that even was,
right? But
it just starts blaring out the start of the British national or the UK national anthem. Hilarious.
That's fucking funny, man. Hilarious. That is so funny. Holy shit, man. Well, Dan, let's go driving around blaring some music.
We can relive our glory. We're always talking about nostalgia, right?
Fucking do it. Let's do it, man. But in the meantime, that's been Jabberbox episode 16. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show and get the episodes early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy. Please find us and subscribe to us over on YouTube and any of the podcast services and rate us to help us grow this show into something bigger and better. Until next time, rock on.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.